And so that's what I'm looking at. Like Kyle right now is just like a really, really consistent player, or Jason just like that player that he's really, really good. He could just come out of nowhere and win worlds again. So I don't know.
Yeah. If he top fours next year though, then all right, cool. I'll give you your props. That's all it takes is another top 4. No big deal.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. But in my mind, Jason will always be the face of this game, like hands down. He was the Tropical Mega Battle champion, Fan Appreciation Tournament champion. Did he win an STS? I don't know.
No, he came ninth.
Top 9.
The running joke.
The
running joke
for
that was
over
ninth. Yeah.
He won those 2 huge tournaments, and then he won Worlds 06 and then Worlds 08. So yeah, I said that too. But so for the longest time, whenever you thought Pokemon players, he was like the name that came up. It's just Ness. He's number 1, and I don't think that'll ever change.
I mean, it's kind of ironic because my first Worlds ever was when it was in Orlando, and I was in seniors back then when he won Worlds in 08.
You're young, dude.
Yeah, I'm only 17, man.
You're a young gun, man.
But yeah, I remember I was like, man, the guy won Worlds twice. He must be the greatest player ever. But yeah, it's cool to know now that I guess I'm somewhere up there with some cool people, you know. Hey, who knows you? But yeah, both you guys are ridiculous players, so that's all that matters.
Cool. So we didn't really get anywhere with that, but
yeah.
I guess we're moving on.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. From Julian Silva, with cards like Catcher and N being reprints of older cards, what is one card that you would like to see reprinted to help balance out the format? And his vote would go to Scramble Energy.
Power Hand Extension, Scramble Energy, or Soup Teleporter. 3 great cards.
I think Scramble Energy. I think Scramble Energy was actually too good.
Yeah, Scramble is ridiculous.
I mean, maybe for 2, but not for 3. Never for 3.
Wouldn't it be really good in a format where you have such a gigantic advantage going first?
But then
I think with the old rules it was overpowered, but with these rules it's more even.
You run into a situation where no one wants to take a prize.
Yeah, Scramble makes the games last forever. That's why they went to 40 minutes, kind of, because game against good players is standoff.
I would say a Scramble for 2 would be fine. Perfectly acceptable. I think that's balanced. Yeah, because it lets you run decks that go, I have to have 2 of this energy. No problem. Got
it. What about Scramble as a boost energy effect?
3 colorless?
Yeah, no, 3 rainbow energies, but it discards that end of turn. Would that be too bad?
No, I think
it would be good.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
It just can't stick around forever like Scramble did.
Yeah. Lucy Mysterious Treasures, just putting that out there, bro. My favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, probably just something. Yeah, probably just something to let. Honestly, I think the format would be pretty balanced if they printed out something that just gives energy acceleration for losing.
Yeah.
But
or even the Guts to Wind effect. I mean, not anymore, but because
Catcher would. I think Catcher would be a lot more balanced too, because then it's like, you were winning, but now I have board control because you took that prize. Haha. I don't know. I didn't know that one. But yeah.
I don't know.
Soup Teleporter.
I really like Soup Teleporter.
What are your thoughts on Cessation Crystal?
What's
on what?
Cessation
Crystal?
Yeah.
Is it that important?
No. I mean, obviously for abilities and stuff like that. When the whole rotation happens, you know. I mean, obviously there's a pros and cons because Stage 1 decks are obviously going to become ridiculous, but most of the Stage 1s that are being played have pretty common weaknesses, so they're not really that hard to kill, even if you don't have abilities. I think when they start making more abilities, that's when I would say maybe Cessation Crystal will be a cool card again.
Yeah.
Because right now we don't have enough, but that's just something to keep in mind. I love that card. It was just so good.
I felt like Cessation Crystal was a reactionary card on their part, though. Like, they went like, oh, we made a mistake with Pidgeot. Oh, we made a mistake with a lot of these guys. Better do something about it. So, I think that's kind of where Cessation Crystal kind of floated around.
I think it'll be a one of, like, if that card ever gets rebranded, like, because of Junk Arm.
Yeah.
You just have one, and then you just kind of, like, Junk Arm it if you have to.
I think Donphan just becomes the most ridiculously powerful deck ever if you have the Cessation Crystal.
Yeah, it's
but
like
Donphan no longer has the -20 at that point, so that doesn't matter. 20 HP guys.
Jan Mega just doesn't attack anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay with that. I like Donphan.
So I think if they reprinted Cessation Crystal, it would say abilities. So
yeah.
Donphan and Jan Mega would still work.
Okay. And that really doesn't affect anything right now.
It probably would be a good card like next year, but
I'm talking about
what do you guys think about Swoop right now? Because I think it could almost be like too random, just with like those huge bases you have, like Reshiram or Zekrom. So just like swooping in something like that out of nowhere.
Swoop would be too good with stage 1s. Think about it.
You cannot call Swoop too good when you have Pokemon Catcher in this format.
I can call Swoop too good when a Fancy turns into a Jan Mega. Are you kidding?
No, like that seems okay.
I think it definitely helps. It takes out babies, and it also helps the like stage 2 decks. Maybe if they have something in play, they can bring it out, and then Rare Candy.
Listen, when a Fancy suddenly turns into a Zoroark and one-shots a Reshiram, that's not cool.
No, I think at that point, like, stage 2 actually becomes more viable because you don't have like those 40 HP Odysseys that you're actually afraid of playing.
Yeah, they can't like touch her either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. It would be good with Boblum, definitely. Yeah,
that's true.
I can see that.
So,
it's probably good both ways.
I would like Swoop in the format. I think it would be nothing but good for the game.
Okay, I think we've kind of beaten this one to it, or so.
Okay. From Adam Garcia, do you think this format is lacking a defined starter, something along the lines of Dunsparce, Jirachi, etc.?
Wait, what?
I think starters are whatever. Some formats have them, some don't. It's not a big deal, really.
It has them. It's just in baby form right now, so it's kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, even with the formats that didn't have starters, we had like Call Energy. You just kind of started and go. You just kind of went with it. Same thing with SP. SP didn't have any starters. It just did stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think a format has to have a starter Pokemon to actually be good. It just but if it does, it's like cool.
It's definitely Pokemon that everyone is playing, like Cleffa and Tyrogue, and you're playing cards to get set up. Everyone's playing Collector. Maybe no one's running like 4 of anything, but they don't need to.
I like how Adam Garcia put, by the way, congratulations for winning, Justin. I punched myself in the face when you played.
I would love to see a card like Jirachi back. I thought that was an amazing consistency card. Look at your top 5. Actually, both of them. I don't even care.
Okay.
But I think something like Dunsparce, that was just something that only worked in a certain era. Like, back in that time period, you didn't have any turn 2 knockout threats. Like, the closest thing you had was Hariyama, which was rarely played. Other than that, Medicham, which only put 3 damage counters, so there was no fear of just like losing your starter right away. You had something to hide behind for a little bit. But now if you run like, for example, there's a Scantler that has Call for Family, and then they just get a turn 2 Jan Mega, you just get knocked out.
I think the Dunsparce thing, it was actually the best starter ever because like it doubled over as a mid game option. Most starters don't have that like capability. They're like, I get that one turn where I'm sorry, I'm looking at chat right now. You get the one turn where you set up, and then later on you can go, I'll just Sunflash, And then you can and at the same time, Jirachi was also legal in that format. So I'll get my 2 basics, my setup, and my thing that evolves, and get options for mid game. So that was like the only real great starter. But other than that, it's like.
All right. From James Hart, how much do each of you play test? He just says everybody has a different way to do it, so he's just wondering.
I think he said how do we play test, not how much.
How?
How? Yeah.
Okay.
I play against Kyle and Tramelot and just pretty much everybody. I like to play against different playtesting groups because I don't have to stick to like one different deck design or to one specific deck design. Because if I play against Kyle's list 100 times, then I'm not going to expect anybody else's. So I just spread my playtesting around, and it helps to be friends with a lot of different people, like from different groups. I think that's like something that's really underrated. But when you actually do that, like you actually get a better feel for the format. So that's something that I recommend for everybody to do.
I agree. I mean, like you're not gonna, unless you're at Worlds or maybe some nationals every round, you're not gonna expect these people to have the same list of people you're testing against or anything close to them. So play testing with different kinds of builds is definitely gonna come in handy in the long run. The way I play test would probably be like, I don't even know how to describe it. I build a deck that I think I'll see. I'll make it as standard as possible at first, and then I'll change it up a little so I can see maybe what my matchup would be like if they had 2 reversal, 3 reversal, and then I test it that way. And then it's basically, reversal flip hard, so it's kind of hard to test it that way. But like, for instance, when a character comes out, like I'll test it like that. I'll change numbers around and see how that does. That's about it.
Talking sweet?
Yeah. I like playing in real life. Yeah. It comes to you, Krem. But I play versus my deck in real life as much as possible, like 2 or 3 times a week. I play on Apprentice a little bit. I don't really like Apprentice that much. It's a horrible program in terms of like it doesn't really mimic real life that well. I do a lot of testing though. I think talking. I think it's important to talk to a lot of people from a lot of different groups, see what they're teching, see what's hot to them and their testing, stuff like that. Other than that, yeah, I don't really play that much.
Yeah, I do a lot of in-house testing first. Like I'll test against my group, and then we'll get all like the base list down, and then I'll start talking and playing against other groups because I think you should have like a good idea on how other people are doing. And then this is where I kind of like evaluate on where our particular list kind of rates up with theirs. Are we ahead? Are we behind? Is some of our lists lacking? Things like that, and then adjust accordingly. But yeah.
The way I used to go about it was I would just play like non-stop and just like try to hammer out a good list and just like change little things as I went along. But after a while I just started to like think about it more, use more theory, and then after I think about it and put a list together, then I would test it, and then if that didn't work the way I wanted it to, make some adjustments and just keep going from there until I feel comfortable. I think probably the most important thing for me is I play with like different styles of players. Like I play against Joner, who's like willing to do anything. He'll play like the craziest decks, and somehow he'll always manage to get me set up so I can see like one end of the spectrum. And then I'll play against Krim, who like takes 5 hours to build a deck and puts a lot of thought into it.